G'day folks, in this video I'll show you how you can solve this Crazy2Face Saturn. A few things to say before we start. The first thing is if you don't actually have the kit, the Crazy2Face kit or a puzzle, you can still solve this on P-Cubes, and I'll leave a link in the description. It's free, it's fantastic, got a bunch of puzzles in there, and this is certainly one of them. The next thing is what is going on with Crazy2Face. Well, Crazy2Face puzzle is a puzzle that shares circle faces and non-circle faces in some form. So we can have them with only one non-circle faces, that is the two-face. So in this case, I've got my yellow is a complete two-face and I've only got one two-face on it. I could have a puzzle where I had the yellow and then say the green, both of which were two faces. That would be a completely different puzzle. Well, not completely different, but it would obviously be different. But that's the nature of a two-face. And so on this puzzle, it's a Saturn. So a Saturn has two opposite faces, which are zero faces. And those are faces where the outer collar turns, the inner ring stays fixed. Now, due to the nature of a zero face, if we have any yellow pieces on it, this orange is also a zero face, it will not turn. You need to have a full circle there for that to work. So I've got my orange and red as my zero faces. I said that my yellow was my two face, the remaining faces are one faces. And on a one face, the face will still turn even if the circle is not made. So that's as far as Saturn goes. The color scheme on this one is different to the MF8 Crazy 3x3 Plus Saturn cube. The reason for that is when I designed and presented the kit 10 years ago, the Crazy2Face kit, what I wanted to do was have consistency and make it simple to change between different variants. So I decided the yellow face would always be a two-face. So if there's only one of these two faces, it would be yellow. If there was two faces, then we would go yellow and green. If there was three, yellow, green, white. So that's the sort of direction we went. You can have four, of course, that would be this one. And the last face, or the face that never became a two-face, was the red face. So because of the fact that the yellow was a two-face, it meant the only possible scenario here was to have the red and the orange as our zero faces. So that's just a bit of an explanation as to why we don't have white and yellow as our zero faces. Now I'm going to be following the same method as a method that I showed recently in a new and improved normal Saturn, Crazy Saturn video. I love that method a lot more. It's quite a bit simpler. It does involve flipping edges, which I find a lot of fun. We do not have to place these edges in place. That would make for a quite difficult solve on this Saturn puzzle with all the blocking that's going on. So hope you enjoy this. Let's get going. The first thing we want to try and do is reduce the edges, and that means simply attaching an outer edge to a circle edge like that. We use a zero face to do that. So that one is done. I would then move another one into its place. Now you can see straight away the issue with this two face is that we've got a bit of blocking. So in the early stages, you can just kind of keep doing that and go, good, that's fine now. I'll see if that helps. Yes, it does. Let's try to turn something else back in there. It's still got that, but I could move that off with that turn there. And all of these side faces will always turn, which is a nice thing. Blue's good. Let's remove that with something. There's nothing here that I can easily remove it with. I could try this one. This could replace it. Got a corner there, so maybe I'll try putting that one up for now. That looks good. Could do that, or I could turn it around to here and perhaps get some more pieces in this line up. Now that will then enable me to reduce both of them at the same time, which is always good. That can be replaced like that. This one puts that up. Are these sensible edges? I can certainly reduce those ones. Nothing else really logical here. So perhaps I will see. That would make more sense there, I think. That will allow me to get the green with this green as well. So I've got these two now done. Now you will get to a point where you can't really easily just put a new edge on a particular line. So at the moment, I'll leave them there In fact, we've got really 3 that are done now. Let's see what we can replace. That can certainly go up. That's got to stay there for now. This one can be replaced. So that's good. We've got a few. And I can now put this one over to here. So that's a pretty sensible thing to do. So at this point, I've got these faces, but I've got the 3 blocking corners. So if I want to remove corners, all I need to do, well, either do something like that, put a different one in there, or I just replace it with a corner down the bottom. So just an up, up, down, down. That's pretty quick and simple. If I need to do it on all 3 of them, no problem. All right, let's see if, have I even got anything I can reduce up here? I do. I've got the white. That can be replaced there. Can then go and do this blue. What can I replace that with? This one. And we haven't really been going at it that long, but you'll start seeing we're not that far from the end. Because if you think about it, these ones are already reduced, if you like. Okay, I've got an orange that I can move to there and reduce that one. Nothing else obvious. Let's perhaps, now one thing I can do, now I don't really want to disrupt this. There's nothing I can put in its place. For now, I lie, I can move this one over to there. I'll put that one there. Okay, that's looking better. I've got green inner, green outer. I've got, yeah, that's going to be nice. So I'll just replace these yellow corners. And what I was just mumbling there was the blue outer will go to the blue inner, and I'll have a green outer going across to here. So that's always nice. Now, I look around, everything here is reduced. What about here? Most stuff is reduced. I've got that one still to go. Looking on the bottom, all of those edges are reduced. What about the middle? Yes, yes. Got one here, so just this one. And then the rest is just whatever's on the top. So let's see what we can do initially with what's on the top. Because this is the one that I want to place here or here, I would like to try and reduce either of these. I'll just see, is that possible? Well, they're both white pieces, so it's not super possible. So what might be more sensible is to move that one up, put it around there, and then put this one over into this position. Okay, so remember, everything that needs to be done is on the top layer now. So I've got one here, 2 here, and 1 here. So I'll concentrate on this one initially, and I can see that I can turn that around. Now that creates 2 on this one, so that's not ideal. What I might do is, I don't really have any whites that I can happily use. So look, it's not ideal, but it will still be okay. So what I'm going to do is move this one over to there. I'm going to say, well, that's green, that's a green there. If possible, I'll get 2 opposite that are the same color, and that is possible. I can now turn that around. I'll now be able to flip this one back over, and I'll see what else I need to put up the top. Yeah, nothing in the middle or the bottom. I've got a white to the orange, a green to the white, and the orange to the green. So let's move that one across to there. So you can see at the moment, they're going to go around like that. This is going to be white. I need to get a white piece sitting here. So I can easily put that one in, one turn, and all of the edges are reduced. So that's really good. They're reduced here. We didn't have to reduce them in place. Now, this is the really interesting part of the solve. And what it is that we now need to check our edges to see which of them need to flip. And what I mean by that is, let's find an example here. If I was to look at, let's say, this orange-green edge, if I tried to place that, turning only the side faces, that places correctly. What about the yellow-blue? That also places correctly. Okay, what about the red-blue? Well, if I try and place the red-blue into its position using only the side faces, I can see that it is flipped. That is what I'm calling a bad edge. So I definitely need to flip this one. So they are the sorts of edges, or the type of way you can tell if an edge needs to be flipped. You can put it into position. You can have a look, even if it was back here. When I look at it here, I say, well, if this needs to turn one turn, then it needs to be flipped, because it's not going to go there by turning this 0 face. I don't want to be turning that. So the approach that I'm going to use is to try and be as logical as possible and look at all the yellow edges first and see which of them need flipping, if any. Then I'm going to move along to the whites, and finally I'm going to finish with the equatorials. And the reason for doing the yellows first is because they are bandaged, and I just want to get them out of the way. So let's check the yellows. What I want to do, what I can do, I don't have to, but I can bring them all up to the top face. Just allows me to see what's there. They're all there. Now, quite clearly, the yellow-red is good. Also, quite clearly, the yellow-blue is good. I can just turn that onto its position. What about these other two? The yellow-green and the yellow-orange. Well, I can see that if I do something like that or this, that yellow-green is definitely flipped. The yellow-orange, let's have a look at that one. If I move that around, I can see that is absolutely fine. So it's only the yellow-green that needs flipping. So because I've got no other, or I can't even use a yellow because I need a complete circle here, I'm going to go to my next set of ones, which would be the whites. And I'm going to say, well, can I get a white-green to use to flip with this? Because I always need two pieces to flip. So firstly, just find the white-green and see if the white-green can go next to this piece. And you can see, no, it doesn't. All right, no problem. I will then go to the next lot and say, well, is there another green, one that would come from the four last pieces, which would be a green red or a green orange? Let's see what we can find. I can see there's a green red here, and I can put that green red adjacent to this green yellow. Remember, all I want to do is flip the green yellow. That's good. So once I've found a matching color and I've got them in the up front and the up left position, what I'm going to do to flip them is carry out a sune and then a U-turn. Now, the difference here with this puzzle is that there are certain positions that I cannot have yellow pieces. The first and most obvious position is anywhere on this top face. So perhaps I might try saying, I'll turn that. That's good over here. The next position I can't have them is anywhere here, because when I do the sune, I turn this face up and straight away that's going to block the top face. So what I can do is, if I'm in a position like this and I want to get rid of this corner, I can replace it with a corner below. The only catch is if I replace it by, let's say I'll do an up, up, down, down from the right here. I go up, up, down, down. It's going to put that yellow edge where I don't want it. So instead of doing that, what I might do is do it from the left and bring this edge into that position. Now that keeps that clear, that's clear. Okay, that's good. So nothing in that position, nothing on the top. The next place we can't have a yellow is this position here. What is this called? Right, up, back. That corner there on that particular sticker. So we don't, and that's good. The reason for that is if we try and do this, just follow that little red corner as I do a sune. Oh, I can't do it because I've got this one here. That's clearly got to be fixed. Let me fix the other one, which is this one here. I can't have a yellow here or here. What I'll do is just rotate, or not even rotate, just replace. That's now good, so the face will turn. Okay, so let's just keep your eye on that one. I'll do the sune. And no. So that is going to come up to the top face. And that is why that particular sticker can't be yellow. So at this point, we are in readiness to carry out what we need to do. I've got the two edges sitting here. All of this setup is to do the following. a sune, followed by a U-turn. Now you will notice that the yellow-green used to be here. It is now here. And so what that has done is effectively flipped the piece that was here to here, and it's flipped the piece that was here to here. And when I say flipped it, remember that the yellow-green was not correctly oriented. Now it is. That's the plan. Okay, so that's all of our yellow pieces are now correct. We can double check that if we want. That's clearly good. The yellow orange and the yellow red. I mean, again, you can go around and look to solve these pieces if you want. That's fine. What about the yellow orange? That's also good. So yes, all the yellows are good. The next lot I'm going to do are the whites. So I'm going to put all the white pieces on the top. Again, it's not essential to do it, just sort of helps. You can see what's going on. All right, let's have a look. The white blue, let's think about, could I place that? Yes, I could happily place that one, so that is fine. And when I say could I place it, I mean place it using only turns of the side faces. Right, what about the white orange? Absolutely. That's definitely good. The white red, yes, that is also a good one because the white is next to the yellow, the red is on the red, so that's fine. What about the white green? Well, this is, I'm pretty sure, going to be a bad edge. Let's go and see if we can just put it in its position, and sure enough, that is flipped. So I want to flip the white green edge, but my other three white edges are all correct. So I don't really want to touch them if I don't have to. Therefore, I'm going to flip it on the green. So the green's on top. And I want to use a green from a set that I haven't looked at yet. And one of them is the green orange. I could also try the green red. So this is great. I haven't even looked at these ones yet. So that is the other green that I'll use to flip this one. I now need to set up so I've got no yellows where I don't, or no yellows in the positions where they can't be. It's just this one here, I think. All right, we are all good to go. I'm going to flip these two, and remember, I don't care about this one. I'm only trying to get this last white piece correctly oriented. And the U-turn, and note that these two at the back don't change. So that's why we're only concerned about these two at the front. Okay, so the white green is now correctly oriented. That'll clearly go into place. Good, so we've got the yellows done, we've got the whites done. What are the last lot to do? The blue red, blue orange, green red, and green orange. So again, let's just for convenience, see if we can move them up into position. What are we missing here? Green red, which needs to go there. Okay. Now you can see that the red green is got the red sticker on top, but the green is over here. This needs to turn one turn. So that is a bad edge. That needs flipping. The red blue. Okay, we've got the same deal. That also needs flipping. The blue orange, if I was to go and put that into its position, I can see that that needs flipping. And the orange green, same deal. So all four of these last edges need flipping. So what we would do is just try and do two at a time if we can. It may not be possible. So clearly the two red ones are opposite, so I can't get them adjacent at this point. What about blues? Well, the blues on top, if I flipped this across to here, it's also opposite, so that's no good. What about the greens? I'm going to have the same problem. And the oranges, I'm also going to have exactly the same problem. So this is quite annoying is not the right word. It's a tricky case because everything we're trying to do, we need all our edges need flipping, and we've got no further edges down the track. These are the last four. So we've already done the rest of them. So what we need to do is kind of step back and use some of the ones that we've already done. Now, quite clearly, we do not want to use yellows because what's going to happen is when we flip, say if you use the yellow red, we would initially use the red, then the yellow would be on top. That'd be bad. We wouldn't be able to flip that back. So we're going to use the white edges to help us out here. So let's focus firstly, if we can, on the red edges, the red green and the red blue. First thing I'll do is see if I can get the white red edge to go adjacent. Well, that does not work at all. What about if I can focus on the oranges, and we'll see if the white orange edge can be adjacent. Going to have an orange going up here. So that doesn't look like it's going to work either. Okay, so we really need to step back here and say, okay, well, I've got none of these are helpful. I can't instantly put, by the look of it, any of my white ones up there, except what I notice here is I've got a white blue that I could turn up. Now we're on the road. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm just going to turn the white blue up. I'm going to flip the blue orange edge first using the white blue edge. So I know I'm going to sacrifice this, but what's going to happen is this is going to flip over, white will be on top, and I can then go ahead and put it back with another white edge. So let's take care of the blue orange first. We will get these yellows out of the way. What's the easiest way to do this? Probably that. Everything is ready. Okay, so blue orange edge number 1. And the U-turn. That one is now correct. So tick that off the list for now. And you can, of course, if you wish, you can check and say, well, is it actually flipped? Yeah, beautiful. Okay, blue orange is fine. Now my white blue edge is out. So I'm now going to spin that over, or flip that over to there, so that the white is on top. I'm then going to say, what about, because I just did the blue orange, would it be possible to put the white orange here? If I can find it, it's over there. I said here or here. And I think, yes, it would. So I can now put the white orange adjacent to the white blue. So just step back and think, what have we done? We've got the blue orange correct. In the process, we sacrificed that one. So we now want to make this one correct again and sacrifice this one. Now what we're hoping is we can then use the white orange to go with the other orange piece that is not yet done, which would be the orange green. It may not be possible. So we can try this. In fact, we could probably set it up and say, is it going to work? Or we can just carry it out and see what happens. So we might do that. The white blue, the white orange, these are the ones that I'm going to flip. I need to get any offending yellow pieces out of the way. Okay, let's flip them, which will return the white blue to a correct state. Oop. Which piece did I not have correct there? Ah, must have been this one. That one there, when I've put this corner up, that's no good. That should be better now. Everything else still looks good. Let's try that again. I was hoping this would happen at some point. You probably get to the end of your sune and there'll be a yellow corner sitting here. Well, that's fine because the sune's been done. So all we need to do now is just replace that with something from down the bottom. And then we can complete our U-turn. So that has now brought the white blue back to correct orientation. You can see there it is. What it's done is put the white orange out. So now we have the white orange bad. Which edge did we do initially? I think, was it the blue orange? Pretty sure it was, because that now looks Good. So now we've got this white orange that's out. Can we get this white orange next to the green orange? Well, I know that I can flip the white orange over like that, and I can also flip the white orange over, or the green orange over, like that. This is exactly what we were hoping for, is that this white orange now, which is bad, will go with the green orange, and that will automatically fix the white orange, and it will fix the green orange. And that will be both of our orange pieces dealt with. Well, let's first of all set this up properly. To do this, I'm going to have to grab sort of a free edge from the back here. And that's looking good. That's fine. That's fine. We're good to go. Alrighty. That white orange is now back to correct, and the green orange is also correct. So you remember we started off with the blue red, the blue orange, the green red, and the green orange. So we have so far fixed the green orange and, if I remember correctly, the blue orange. Yes, that is all good. So the two orange pieces have been fixed. Right, the reds have not. So I've got the blue red and the green red. So you remember that they were opposite. So there's no way that I'm going to be able to fix them directly. So we'll do the same thing. We'll say, well, let's start with the blue red. I'm going to look at the other color, which is a blue. And therefore, I'm going to involve a white blue. Sort of got to go backwards to the whites, and I'll use the white blue. So this will fix the blue red. The white blue will become unfixed. Okay, so let's get all our stuff set up initially. That's a problem, and this is clearly a problem. That's okay. And this one is now okay as well. Okay, we're good to go. This is going to fix the blue red. And what have I done there? Oh, I've accidentally put that one there when I shouldn't have. That's got another yellow one there, so we'll just keep going until there is no yellow either on top or in this position. I don't like the look of this, so what I'm going to do, if I rotate this one up, it's going to put it in that position. Here's what I'm going to do. Keep going. I think one more should do the trick. Now we're good. That one is on the back face. It's not there. We now should be absolutely fine to flip this blue red. There we go. The sune's done. Replace that yellow corner. Do the U-turn. That's now good. So yes, we put the white blue out. We have one last piece to try and do, which is the green red from memory. So the green red and the white blue don't really work, do they? But we notice that the white blue potentially will be able to flip with the white green. So the white blue is currently bad. We're going to make it good, and in the process the white green will be bad. Okay, let's get the white blue back where it should be. Well, that's no good, clearly. Neither's that. That will be okay. Okay, good. So we're going to put the white blue back into contention. Now, the question before I begin this, I'm going to look and say, is this the correct piece that I want to be using? Could I be using another piece, or should I be using another piece? If I do this, the white blue is going to fix, the white green is going to be over here, and the white's going to be on top, which means the green, when I flip it over, will be in that position. Now I notice that the green being in that position, well, that's the same position as this green red. And that's the piece I want to flip. So I don't actually think that's going to help using the white green. Therefore, I'm going to use the other color on this last piece, which happens to be the white red. Let's have a look and see how that will work. I'll flip these two. That'll be fixed. The white red will be over here. When I not rotate it, when I flip it over to here, the red will be on top. And then I notice this red will be here. So that is how I check for that last one, which of the white pieces should I use? So turned out it was not the white green, it was actually the white red. So now that we know that, we're in a position to go ahead and flip these. That's now done. Let's do what I said. Flip over this white red to here. So the red is on top, and then that last red of the red green will go adjacent to it. And these are the last two pieces that we're going to need to flip. That's fine. Let's deal with this one. That's good. Now I'll just go ahead and deal with this last corner here. Alrighty, everything looks great. So now in a position to do the final set of flips. There's the U-turn. That red-green has now been correctly oriented, and the red-white has also been correctly oriented. I hope you can see why I enjoy that process. It does involve a little bit of thought. It's not just a mindless sort of carry this out. And I like puzzles where you do have to think a little bit about what you're doing. So what we've achieved now is not only have we reduced the edges, we have oriented them all correctly. So when it's time to place the edges, we're going to be able to place every single one of them using just turns of the side face. So they will not unreduce. Of course, if we turn like that, we've got problems. So that's good. The next stage of this solve is to reduce the corners. Now, this is fairly straightforward. To reduce the corners, what we want to do is get 4 edges of the same color on this face. Now, because it happens to be the red face that's turning, and this is really going to be the first face that I place my edges on, what I'm going to say is, you know what? I'm going to put my edges in position now. I'm going to put 4 red edges where they belong to use as those red edges. So that when I'm done reducing the corners, they are all going to be able to be put back into that position pretty much straight away. All right, so we can now turn this face, and you'll notice that as I do it, the edges do not disrupt. They do not unreduce. So all I'm doing here is saying, well, look, I've got a reduced corner. I've got an outer corner attached to an inner corner. I'm going to now replace this with some other corner from the bottom. This is essentially all I'm doing the whole time. Same thing here. I'll replace it with this one. Let's move around, have a look at something else if we need to. I mean, I could turn this. I get the orange and the red done. Replace. Now I've got an option here. I could replace it with this one, or I could rotate this corner, and I might do that because it's got 2 bits that need to be done. So that's just 2 up, up, down, downs instead of the 1. Now, is any of that useful? Well, yes, we could do that and that. Now I can replace this one with this one on the bottom. The unreduced part is on the bottom, so it requires 3 up, up, down, downs. There we go. We want to replace this one as well. And now we're ready to continue. I might do, which is a more sensible one to do, possibly this one. I'll rotate that around. Keep going. Got the white that can go there. This one's done, so I'm just going to rotate this. Now let's have a look what's on the bottom. That's done as well. That's nearly done. This is nowhere near done. So what I'm going to try and do is bring this one into the mix by reducing corners in this position. So I'll turn that, I don't care what's happening over here. I'm going to turn that around. I'm going to bring this one up. This position now is done. So is that one. So is that one. This is the other one that I wouldn't mind getting done now. So I'm going to put, well, I'm going to try and bring something to here so that I can get it reduced. Now, nothing obvious is going to do that at the moment. So I'll just keep that in mind. I noticed that if I do bring this one up to the top, it's got an orange circle corner, and that will go with that one there. The only problem is that when I put that on, that is not yet a reduced piece, so it's not necessarily going to help straight away. Let's see what we can do with what we've got. We'll certainly do that and rotate. This one's a big problem, so that's got to be dealt with somehow. So let's turn the white around to there and rotate this one. That's good. That's only got 2 bits to do. That's got 2 bits to do. One there, none there, and one down the bottom. All right, I'm now in a position to bring this one around like that. Oh no, not quite, because that's still not quite done. Let's just think that one through a little bit more. Now, even if I do that, no, we'll continue. We'll ignore that for now and just continue doing what we were doing. And I've got a red circle corner here, and by rotating this corner, I've got a red outer corner that can go onto it. I can then rotate this, and if I want, bring this back or bring it further along there, whatever works. That seems pretty good. They're done. Got one here, and I've also got one sitting down there. So I'm definitely going to, I think for now, I'm going to bring this one up to the top and move it across to there. That can go atop, move it around to that position. Now you'll notice that I've got this one sitting in here, and I would like to get this one up to the top. So I'm firstly going to try and place this one to here. It's got a blue inner circle or circle corner. I can then use this to fully reduce it and put it down the bottom. Okay, that's now up the top. Now that's there, I can replace that with this one. Now, the reason for doing that is on the bottom now, all the corners are reduced. I just have to think about what's on the top. And you can see on the top, there's 4 parts. I just need to somehow either try and get them in order or do them almost one at a time. So I noticed that if I turn 2 turns, I'll have the orange and the white reduce like that. I'm happy with that because what I've got now is a blue-red and a red-blue. Now, either I can try and get the same color up to the top. In this case, that's not possible because I have a red here, but no reds available here. Or I have a blue here, but no blues available here. So the next thing that I would do would be something like, say, well, I'm going to move the blue over to here, and then I'm going to replace it with this red. And essentially that's going to be a 3 cycle of these pieces here. So blue comes to there, turn this red one up, and then when I turn it back around, that deals with that one there, and the others go back into their position. So that is how we reduce all of the corners. Now that being done, you'll notice now that the edges are in position correctly relative to each other, but they need to move one around, every single one of them. So what I need to do now is get 4 corners that are the same, and this is the start really of solving the cube. 4 corners of the same color to do that. I can't get reds there. I've got green, green. I can't get greens. How about orange and a blue? Orange, orange. This does become a little bit tricky at times. So what I might do, I think first, I don't think the reds are going to work. So I might try rotating this to be a blue, first of all. And sometimes this is a little bit of trial and error just to get the colors that you need in position. I'm going to put that blue up there. It's going to keep this blue here. So that's probably not going to work. What about oranges? There's an orange there, orange here, no orange over here. Well, that'll be right. How about whites? Whites are a possibility. Let us firstly take this white to here. I really don't know if whites are going to work. And I may need to kind of cycle through all the colors until I find one that works. Whites don't look too promising at all, do they? Blue, blue. Oh, blues. Look at this. Sorry for the excitement there. I just suddenly realized I think I've got 4 blues that I can use. Let's firstly rotate this blue. Might have to take back my excitement, but we'll see. I think we're going to be good. I'm going to put this blue up the top with 3 up, up, down, downs. Oh no, we're not. We're going to be not good at all. I'm going to stop there and say, can I get this blue to here without disturbing that? And I'm not sure that I can. Okay, so when you get to this situation, you can see that it moves this one over here. What I have found sometimes is that I have to resort to using the corner piece series to move a corner to where I want it. So I wouldn't normally cycle corners until the last stage, but for now, I'm going to have to put one where I need it to be. So I'm going to put that blue corner up there. I need a blue corner sitting here. So to do that, the other blue corner is in that position. I just need to get it across to there. Doesn't matter how it's oriented. And I want to do this so that if I use the corner piece series, I do not involve the orange or red faces. The corner piece series uses the left, up, and right. At the moment, it's going to involve those faces. And you can see straight away the problem. Well, I can't turn this anyway because it's blocked with those yellow pieces. What I can try first of all is to just turn that orange face off to the back. And now move these corners, or move this blue one across to there. That's what I'll do first. I'll bring back that slice. Okay, as I say, I wouldn't normally resort to that, but if you find that you're just going round and round in circles and you cannot get the 4 of the same color, that's what you may have to do. So they're all the same color now. What was that all about? So that I could do this. And you can see now that's done. Those reds are not only correctly oriented, again, they are exactly in their correct positions. So we now continue with placing the edges, and I'm going to do it the same as I normally would. 3 middle layer edges. Where have we got to go here? So I'm looking for, say, this blue yellow. Always just turning side faces. What about a white green? Do I have a green yellow? Well, I do, and I can get it from here. So I can just set up by putting that to there and then turning it around to that position. That's in, and I'll undo the setup. 1, 2, 3, all good. There's my fourth one. I'm going to try now and place these back too. So this has got to be orange green. So to get the orange green into here, I can just set up to put that out of the way and now cycle that orange green home. And you'll notice every time I try and place these, they are all going in totally correctly because we flipped them all earlier. What about this one? It's got to be orange yellow. Okay, well again, I can just move this down to here and use this one that I haven't dealt with yet to place the orange yellow. That's in, undo the setup. Now we're left with the last three pieces. So we could have three scenarios here. One, they could just be solved. One or two comes after one generally. They could be a 3 cycle like this. So these have got to travel like that. If that's the case, we just cycle them home. And 3, we could have a situation like this where we've got a swap of 2 edges. You can see the white blue has to go there and the orange blue has to go there. Well, if you get that, what you want to do is just turn one of the side faces, doesn't matter which one, but it makes sense to do one of these. Just turn that one turn. That has now dealt with that swap, and I want to go and replace the edges that just popped out. So the first one is this blue-red. It's got to go back down to here. So for example, I could turn it out of the way, put its position up, put it on, put it down. That one's in. This one's supposed to be blue-yellow, and that's sitting over here. So let's turn that across, put it on, undo, undo. And when you've done that, you'll either have this where you've got your edges solved, or you'll just have another 3 cycle. You can cycle them home. So that is all the edges placed. And you'll notice the corners are still completely reduced because we did not turn the orange and red faces when we were doing that. So now for the corners, well, I've already done it in this solve because I had to move a corner. I'm just going to use the corner piece series to cycle corners home. And again, I just don't want to turn the orange or the red faces as part of my sequence. So I've got a white, orange, green here, which can move along there. The problem is, in order to cycle it along there, that's not a problem at all because I'm not really going to be turning that orange face. It's going to go across the back. This will come down. This will go up to here. But you can see the issue is this is already solved. So what I might do next is say, what if this can go along the side and I have this piece movement here? That looks good, except that I've got a red face on the side. That's a 0 face. I don't want that. Can I just do that? I can. So that is now at the front, out of the way, and I can now go and place this white, orange, green. And I use the corner piece series for that. Okay, that's done. Turn back that slice and that is placed. Got a blue, orange, yellow here. Well, I really need to get it to there, and what I might do here is again turn that slice, and I'm now able to do a setup here so that this will go across into that position and these 3 pieces will move. Undo my setups. That's good. Green, orange, yellow. Well, that's going across to there. Now, yeah, if I do that setup, that is ready to come across to here. The problem is that is nothing, but what I can do before I start is do another setup like that. So I really just want to place this over here. I've got a 3rd piece that's not yet done. The last problem is that I've got this orange on the top. Now, I'm going to turn it to the back so it's now out of the way. So there's 3 setup moves there that I need to remember to undo. Let's undo the first one. Then the second one, and finally the third one. And you'll see that that's gone in, and that then leaves us with two corners that need to be twisted. And normally I would do something like an up, up, down, down twice. And like, for example, let's say that I had two pieces on this face. I'd do an up, up, down, down to rotate this one around, and then I'd turn the red face around to bring this one over here. Well, I can't do that for two reasons. One, it's blocked, but the second reason, even if it wasn't, it would unreduce this corner. So the only way that I can get these corners twisted is to use a sune followed by sune mirror. Now this one's got to go clockwise. This one's got to go, I just lied. This one's got to go anti-clockwise. This is going clockwise. So if I hold it initially like this, I would like to move this one basically into that position. Now if I turn that to there, that has got to go to the back position, which means this one's got to be here first. So just looking at the setups, that'll put them where I need them. So what did I do? Well, I won't bother remembering that one, but I've turned right prime, up prime. And so this will now rotate anti-clockwise. This will rotate clockwise. Now, as long as my upper and my right face are one faces, in other words, not the orange or red, I'm all good. So here we go. We'll carry out a sune. Followed by a sune mirror. All done. Undo the setups. And they have been twisted correctly. And you can see that the Crazy2Face Saturn has been solved. I hope that was helpful, and thanks for watching.